My fellow Bills fans and other football fans, we need to have a talk. Sunday sucked. All right. And I know the title of this video is not something most people would expect coming from a Bills fan after that game. But after having spent 10 minutes of pure despair for the game, I've been concocting this thesis I've had as to why I'm not that upset about the loss. And we'll get into that. I have a couple different points. I should have written them down, but you know what? Fuck it. We're doing it live. So I'm just going to go into the points on why I personally think the Bills are still a Super Bowl contender and why even I think they're going to be set up for even a better position now than they were a week ago before this Vikings loss. So let's just get into that real quick. Now, the one concern I do have, before we get into the positives, I do have one concern, which is the upcoming schedule. And that's another topic I'll touch on in a second. But we have to play 3 games in 11 days. The Browns on Sunday. Then 4 days later, the Vikings. 7 days later, the Patriots on Thursday Night Football, the week after Thanksgiving. That's a little bit alarming. That brings me up to my first point, which is the game itself against the Vikings. We did choke away the lead. I'm not going to say that we didn't do that. There were some turnovers that I didn't like, but we lost because of those turnovers. Simple mistakes that were from execution and decision-making, not because of a lack of talent. We have the talent to compete with anybody. We have shown that in the past. We just need to be able to limit the human error, which is something we can teach and learn and get better at as the season goes on. Not only that, the Vikings are a NFC team. Doesn't impact our tiebreakers whatsoever, just impacts our record. And that record can get, that tiebreakers and record can be better if we take care of what we need to take care of at home. We lost to the Dolphins and Jets away, both games. Teams that are good, that are in your division, you're expected to win those home games. They won their home games that they were expected to win. Now we should be expected to beat them at home. Because we're all good teams, the home field advantage is at the deciding factor. It took the greatest catch of all time, we'll hear nothing else about it, and a fumble in the end zone. Something that would happen 99 out of 100 times. That doesn't happen. It was literally like hitting the jackpot. It's so rare that would have happened the way it happened because of the snap, the way Josh Daniel was able to catch it, the way they have the play design where Gabe Davis pushes him so that way he couldn't immediately fall down on it because he was getting pushed out of the way. Every single factor led to that. It was just a combination of random factors. And so I'm not going to get hung up on getting beat by the best catch of all time, of astronomically improbable accident or mistake, and then just, a good play by Patrick Peterson, one of the better corners in the last decade. I'm not stressed about the game too much. We played a good game offensively. Defensively, we played even better, especially with our entire secondary out, because Poyer, White still isn't back, and Kyrie Elam were all out. So I think we did a great job. We had Cam Lewis. Cam Lewis was the one who got mossed by Jefferson. He's an undrafted player from the UB. It's not like he was a high value draft pick that he just mossed. It's not like that was Trey White. Nothing against Cam Lewis, but I feel like he'd agree with me. Anyway, off the game. That's my opinion on the game. That's what made me feel better. Maybe it's coping, maybe it's not. That's the things I had to think about to get better. Moving forward, let's go back to the schedule. Josh was able to come out there and throw the ball around. His elbow is looking okay. We are now going against 2 defenses that throughout the season, the storylines have been. The Lions had statistically been the worst defense of all time through X amount of weeks. They've gotten better, but they still lead the league in yards per attempt allowed at 7.8, which is 0.4 yards more than the next however many teams. That's almost an extra half a yard per attempt they're allowing. And then the Browns, the game before them, are allowing the 8th highest with 7.1 per attempt. And Joe Woods has been on the hot seat and basically been a dead man walking for his job the entire season. So maybe Josh didn't play the best. He's going to go in there and they're going to drill him. They're going to make sure he knows in his head, you need to take care of the football. Now you're going against 2 of the worst pass defenses in the league. Even though it's in a tight game and one's away, one's home, you will come out there, you obliterate the pass defense of the Browns. You go to the Lions, you throw all over them. I wouldn't be surprised if he's averaging 400 yards and 4 touchdowns a game. Maybe one game is 305 touchdowns. The other game is, high or a low 4 with some 4 touchdowns, like somewhere like between a 300 and 400 yard range for each game, and at least 3 touchdowns. He's going to expose them. That's let alone if we sign OBJ or not. But I'm not putting my hand on that. So these are 2 get right games where your strengths play good into their weaknesses, and you can build confidence going into a divisional game at New England. You need to win that game. You're going to be coming off in this scenario 2, easy basically wins. If that's how it goes. If not, then there's a little more concern before you can get in there. But if you come off the 2 wins, as I expect them to, passing all over both those defenses, you go into New England, who's one of the better pass defenses in the league. You come in fully confident, but on a really low rest. I think that it'll be a good game. But again, it's a divisional game away. New England's not a pushover. If we lose it, it's not the end of the world. And the last point I'm going to make is something I alluded to earlier. We're getting a lot of guys back. Whether that's Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White's finally going to be playing, whether it's against the Browns or against the Lions, he's going to be playing. I'm assuming they're going to wait for him to play against the Lions. We're going to be getting Greg Rousseau back soon. We'll have Kyer Elam back to pair with Christian Benford, right, if Trey can't go. We're still healthy in the offense, thank God. We might be bringing OBJ, so we're basically getting like Poyer, White, potentially OBJ, are all like Pro Bowl to All-Pro level players. And Greg Rousseau has been having a hell of a season. You bring those guys back, it's basically like you're adding a whole new free agency class right in the middle of the season. Majority of them already know your system. And their defense has been great. So we are set up to win. We are hitting our cold spot now. The Eagles just lost last night, but you don't want to be that team that's riding high and hot through the entire season. As soon as the playoffs hit, that's when you cool off. I'd rather hit our cool-off period right before ramping up against 2 of the worst pass defenses and getting into the stretch where you need to win some clutch divisional games. And then I'm not worried about making the playoffs. We're still the 6th seed right now. And hopefully with our record and the tiebreakers we already have existing, and maybe some continuous tiebreakers we'll get with some divisional wins, we'll be able to secure 1 seed, maybe even the 2 seed. If not, wild card, I don't care. I'm glad we're hitting our cold period now so we can get shit fixed, get stuff right now in the middle of the season. So once we're building up momentum heading into the playoffs, we can be as hot as we can and not make those dumb mistakes like we did today. That is my, you want to call it, if you're a Bills hater, coping mechanism, copium. Hopefully I inspired some other Bills fans to not be as harsh on them. And then there's also those large portion of Bills fans who are literally just fans because they've been doing it recently. I know who you are. I've met you plenty. So they probably won't get anything out of this. But those people who understand what's going on and have been with this team since they've been, back when they were awful every single year and not having expectations, they're back to being the underdog. This is where we like to play from. We hit our cold period, yes, but every team has a cold period in the season. No one goes 17-0. No one goes all the way undefeated. That's the reason why the record's been there since 72. The Dolphins, most of their players are old and in wheelchairs now because it just doesn't happen. We're in our cold period now. We're going to get hot in the playoffs. We're going to build confidence against some of the worst defenses. We're going to try to win those divisional home games with that home field advantage that we got. We're going to get hot and make it to the Super Bowl. That's got to be the way to do it. Because yesterday or 2 days ago was a mess. I'm glad it was a mess that we can fix, isolate, and look at it for the positive. So that is why I am still optimistic and why you should be optimistic. And if you are optimistic, hang around here. I'm going to try to throw some more optimism around in some next videos. I had to hit a little bit of snag with the basketball channel I'm trying to set up, but you know what? We'll get stuff out there whenever I can. So enjoy the rest of your day and go Bills.